I don't know how else to say this outside if you're going to want to move over here. Move into this area. Going to get started here. Welcome everybody to this is our signing party. Signing party where we get to introduce the new signees, the ones we'll be suiting up for the Trailblazers next year, and combined with this group and the ones we have, the ones that are going to be bringing us some championships. So my name is Ken Beezer, Director of Athletics. And I'm going to quickly turn the time over to Coach Anderson, who's going to run the program from there. And I will depart, not because I don't want to know who we signed, I pretty much know, but we're actually looking for a university president right now, as most of you know. And so I'm on that committee, and we're actually having our first town hall meeting that I need to get to. But we're so excited. Now, we've got the football schedule out on the tables. Make sure you get it. Outstanding schedule. We actually have 12 games next year, 6 at home. And even better than that is 2 of our road games are one's in Cedar City and the other's in Las Vegas against UNLV. So you can make it to 8 of the 12 games easily. So we're really excited about that. You'll get a good chance to see the Trailblazers play next year. Coach, before I introduce you, I was just actually looking at the calendar before I came down. Tomorrow will mark exactly 2 months since Coach Anderson was announced as our new head football coach here at the university. And people ask me, how's it been working with us? I don't know. I haven't seen him, which is true. He is finally going back to Boise tomorrow to turn in his stuff that he's been waiting this time to do it. So without further ado, you're going to get to hear from him on why he's been busy and his staff the past 2 months. But welcome, Coach Lance Anderson.
It's great to be here tonight, and like Ken said, I mean, it has been a whirlwind these last 2 months. It's been crazy, but I feel like I'm finally at that point where we're going to be here for an extended period of time. We can settle in, really start to get into a routine, really start working with the team here, and I'm excited about that. But I'm really excited to get to this stage because I feel like this is kind of the culmination of maybe the first phase of our football program as we start to build towards next season. A lot has gone on in these 2 months, and I feel like we're finally at that point where we have the majority of our staff hired, and we've pretty much completed recruiting for this year's team. So our roster for next year at this point is pretty much built. You know, with the December signing period, with some mid-year transfers, and then our signing day today, that roster is pretty well established for next year. Now, we may have a few additions in the spring, but it will be minimal. You know, we'll see how spring practice goes. We'll see what we still have available, what our needs are. But our roster is pretty set. And so that's pretty exciting to get to this point. Now, to get to this point in the recruiting class, a lot of work has gone in the past 2 months. And you'll get a chance to meet the staff later on. But everyone involved has spent a lot of time, a lot of driving, a lot of time on the road, a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time text messaging and messaging over Twitter or X, whatever it is now. So I just feel like most of my time these last 2 months have really been centered on hiring a staff and recruiting, building this roster. So I'm really excited about that next phase of really getting to know our team better, spending time with them, and really digging into some of the X's and O's. But I want to touch just for a minute on this recruiting class in general. You're going to hear from all the coaches more details about the individual guys we signed. But even though it's been really quickly put together, I think this is a really quality class, and it really addresses the needs that we have in our program at this time. You're going to see from our signing class that we're maybe a little bit heavy on the offensive line and the defensive line, because I believe that's where great teams are built. I mean, we want to be a physical football team. We want to be a tough football team. We want to be a team on offense that when we need to, we can run the football. On defense, we have got to be able to stop the run and make teams one-dimensional. That starts up front, and that's why we're a little bit heavy on the O-line and D-line. But we've added a lot of great guys as well in the class that are really going to help us out next fall. Also, I'll just touch briefly on our staff, and you're going to hear from all of them. And they're going to tell you a little bit about, you know, where they're from, where they've worked, their backgrounds. But I'll tell you this, it is a very good coaching staff with great experience. And I think I can honestly say, I mean, every single one of them, they're either coaches I have worked with or coaches that I've known for a long time, or I know people that know them very well who I trust. And I know that we've got a staff full of men who have high character, great work ethic, they love football, they care about the student athletes, and I'm excited to work with this group. We still will have a couple additions to the coaching staff. We've hired an offensive line coach. He won't be here until February 16th. That will be his start date. We also have a special teams coordinator to hire, and it looks like his start date will probably be March 1st. So we'll add a couple guys to the staff, but it's going to be a great group of guys. So I want to just quickly introduce the staff, tell you who we've got on the staff, and then, like I said, they will come up, introduce themselves, and give you a little bit more background. But our offensive coordinator comes from southeastern Louisiana, Greg Stevens. He will also coach the quarterbacks, has a lot of great experience. On the offensive side of the ball, Taylor Colsteve will be our wide receiver coach. I had the privilege of working with Taylor last season at Boise State. Also on the offensive side of the ball, Jamison Clark is going to be retained. He's going to be coaching running backs and will be our recruiting coordinator again. And we've also added Steve Clark to our offensive staff. Steve's title is going to be Senior Offensive Assistant. And I know Steve's probably not going to tell you this, but Steve has coached just about every position on offense, and that's why he can help us at probably every single position on the offensive side of the ball. And he'll be really heavily involved helping Coach Stevens with the offense. And our tight end coach, Nolan Given, comes from southeastern Louisiana with Coach Stevens, has a great background to play in the tight end position, and that will be very valuable to the young men that he coaches at that position. Like I said, we'll add an offensive line coach soon, and you'll get a chance to meet him, not too long. Our defensive coordinator, I've got a long background with. We spent, I think, 6 years together at Stanford University. He's been the defensive coordinator at St. Lawrence University in New York, and his name is Patrick Moynihan. Our defensive line coach is James Cowser. I've known Coach Cowser since he was in high school, and I tried to recruit him when I was at Stanford. Our outside linebacker coach is going to be Ali'i Niamatalolo. He comes to us from UCLA. And our DB coach is Ray Clark, who was at Arizona State this past season. And I also had the privilege of coaching with him at Stanford University. So with that, I think we'll start out with Coach Moynihan, and he will talk to you about the inside linebackers.
Thank you, Coach Anderson, for that kind introduction. Like I said, my name is Patrick Moynihan. I'll be the inside linebackers coach and defensive coordinator. I've had the privilege of working for Coach Anderson for 6 seasons at Stanford, both as a graduate assistant and a quality control type of coach. And then I spent 5 or so seasons at the Division III level, 4 at Kenyon College in Ohio, and then this past season at St. Lawrence University in Canton, New York. I'm excited to be able to introduce these 3 inside linebackers to you guys. 2 will be joining us as mid-years, 1 will be joining us in the fall. The first is Spencer Rich, who grew up in the Nashville, Tennessee area. He played for 3 seasons at Memphis University. He'll be joining us as a grad transfer enrolled in the sports management program. From Spencer's standpoint, I think, he combines good football instincts with high football intelligence, and I think in terms of, the physical demands that we're going to put on the inside linebacker position in this new defense, he's going to be more than capable to be able to carry out those jobs. The second guy, Elijah Wood, he's another mid-year transfer from San Jose State University. He's a little bit of a different type of player. At San Jose State, he played more of kind of an overhang, kind of hybrid type of position, usually walked out over the number 2 receiver. In our defensive system, he translates more to an inside linebacker, but I think in terms of his length, his athleticism, his ability to play in space, gives us a new dimension. And so as he learns and grows and kind of what we're going to be asking him to do, I think we'll be able to combine his physical ability, with the new schemes. Last guy, Jace Sweeten, he's a local product. He's from Crimson Cliffs High School, which, as I'm learning the St. George area, I'm going to become more familiar with where exactly these schools are and what they mean and the different rivalries and stuff like that. But from my standpoint, I was very pleased when Coach Anderson sent me the list of December signees, and I was able to watch Jace's film, where he's a safety in high school, but I think he really translates to a linebacker at the collegiate level. You can see, his length, his frame, but his ability to move. I think as he gets in a college weight room, a college nutrition program. Hey, we can expand on his natural physical ability, but also, hey, move him closer to the line of scrimmage, so the coverage skills, the ball skills that you see on film can be combined with, hey, the ability to work sideline to sideline and get ball carriers down. So those are the three new inside linebackers that we have coming in. I'm excited to be able to work with the whole defense, but in particular the inside linebacker group this spring. And so I'll turn the microphone over to Coach Nima Tololo.
How's it going, y'all? Ali Inimatulolo. I graduated from the University of Utah, and then I worked there for a year, and then I also just came to you guys from UCLA. I'm super grateful to Coach Anderson, Coach Moynihan for entrusting me and bringing me along to staff here, and I can't wait to work with the outside backers here. For this class, we got one in the outside linebackers. It's Blake Jensen. He comes to us from American Fork, Utah. He'll be serving a church mission. He's about 6'3.5", 240. He's already well put together. You'd think that he's been in the college weight room for a few years, plays with a lot of violence. He's a kid that fits us not only on the playing field, but fits us in our culture and out here in the community in St. George. And we're pumped to have him, and thank you.
Hello, I'm James Kauser. From Fruit Heights, Utah. Went to Southern Utah, that nasty school up north. I coached at Weber before here, but I was here last year, so I'm super excited to be back. I love St. George. I love this university. But talking about the boys we got. First off, we got two mid-years who are already in here, who are already working. The first one is Tomasi Malafu. He is a kid, came from Tonga, grew up in Hawaii, went to Kansas. Now he's here in Utah. Finally found his home. He's not a kid that's going to talk your ear off, but he's a great personality. He's a rugged, hard-nosed kid. He's got some good burst. He's got good twitch. And the good thing about him, and all these kids that you'll see, he loves football. I mean, he just wants to show up and he just wants to work. And so it's really exciting to get him, as he opens up more, just the personality and the passion that he has towards football. Especially when you get talking about ball, that's when he really blossoms. He's going to be a great player for us. Next, we got Dane Whalen, who's actually here in the house. He is from Kansas. Most recently played football at Nicholls State. I'm going to embarrass him because he's sitting right here. First day here, he showed up squatting. He put so much weight on the bar that he ripped his own pants. And so that doesn't say anything about him. He's a hardworking dude. He's willing to stop the run. He's willing to do the dirty work. He's a strong, strong human being. Plus, because he's here, I'm going to say he's got great character as well. Like, he's a fun kid. He's already asking me questions about next fall timing, which is something you rarely get from college students. So he's going to bring a level of intellect and a rugged, hard-nosed style of football. It's going to help us on the football field. Now we're going to the high school kids coming in. We got a kid out of Woods Cross named Clarence Putatau. This is another initially soft-spoken kid, but when you put his film on, you see this kid can play football now. He's got a super high ceiling. He played defensive end for Woods Cross, but he has the ability to grow into an interior and edge player. So he can kind of do a lot for us. I think he could be elite when he starts slipping in on the inside playing against guards. That's where I see him really shining, but he'll be a versatile, high-motor guy. He's going to go on a mission first, but when we get him back, he's going to be something special. Then going down, we got a kid out of Texas, Brandon Jackson. This kid is so fun to talk to on the phone. He's so fun in person. He's got a bright personality. You throw his film on, he's got that punch you in your chest, knock you back type of strength, but then he also has the ability to dip his shoulder, slip, gap transfer, make plays in the backfield. He's a kid that I think has such a high ceiling to him. Technically, he was telling us that he came from a program where it was just go play ball. And then he started learning technique and how he blossomed his senior year when he learned technique. And the most exciting part for him is to grow even more as a player. And so when you get a hungry player who already has the foundation, that's already talking about putting the work in, I think he can do something awesome. Then last up for us, we got another homegrown Utah kid out of Payson, Utah, Zayden Cook. Zayden is a all smiles, all the time type of kid. He, from Goshen, I should say. He's from Goshen, the small town. He's going to, you look at his film right here, he's going to knock back O-linemen. He's a wrestler. He likes the nitty-gritty. He likes to make the dirty plays. He wants to do it the hard way. He doesn't want to take the easy way at all. And I think when you start stacking, you look at the group of guys we had, it's just a bunch of guys on the defensive line that just want to work, that want to do the little things right, and I think it's going to set us up for a great season. So next we'll hand it over to Coach Clark.
How's it going, y'all? I'm Ray Clark. I'm a coach to the defensive backs here. Last year I was at Arizona State, assistant in the secondary, and prior to that I was with Coach Anderson at Stanford, and a couple places before that, but I won't bore you guys with that. But starting off with our DBs, we got 5 signees. 4 are actually here right now, so starting off with Foster Slaughter. Very interesting kid. He kind of had a big recruitment early, and then just in the crazy world of college recruiting, some things kind of dried up, and we're lucky to have him here. He's from Los Alamitos High School. He can do a lot of things, good ball skills, good tackling. So just a guy we're really excited about. So we got him in the mid-year as a high school kid, so we're going to get him going, but we're really excited about Foster. Next, we have Caleb Canada, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. He's a grad transfer from Mississippi Valley State. And just what Coach Anderson talks about building a physical football program, I think Caleb kind of embodies that. He's like a 6'3", 200-pound corner. He can also play safety, but very physical, knocks people back. And I'm also very excited about his leadership qualities. He's already started working with the group, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. Next, we have Cade Smith. He's a junior college transfer from Hartnell Junior College. Really interesting kid. He was a baseball player, didn't start playing football till his senior year. He's a big kid. He's about 6'3". He's pretty skinny, but very athletic. He played receiver for his junior college, was the leading receiver there for 2 seasons, but also you can see on his tape, he's very willing tackler, very athletic, and again, kind of embodies what we want this defense and this team to look like. Next is Kyle Parker. He's the one kid who's not here. He's from Long Beach Millikan High School out in California. Really explosive, fast athlete, which obviously you need on the edge. So feel like he can make some plays out there and also match some fast receivers that we're going to go against. But really excited to get Kyle here in the summer and get him going in fall camp. And then lastly, Furious Hoskins. He's a kid out of Las Vegas, and coaches down in that area kind of raved about him. He was tearing it up as a receiver. Also played DB, never really came off the field. Was very productive there. So, he just signed this morning, and we're really excited to get him up here this summer and start working with him as a full-time DB, but think he can be a really good player for us. So really excited about this group, really excited to be here and build this program the right way. But with that being said, I'll turn it over to Coach Stevens.
Good evening. I'm Greg Stevens, and as Coach mentioned, I come here from southeastern Louisiana. I've been there the last 6 years, and been real blessed there. We had some real good teams, but I'm so excited to be in Utah. I grew up in Utah, and my 3 kids that are all married, they live here and stuff. So me and Amy's very excited about coming to Utah and to coach here at Utah Tech and to work with Coach Anderson. But at the quarterback position, the first guy we have is Luke McPhail. Luke's actually right over here. Good 6'4", good-looking kid. So any single girls, right there, quarterback right there. but Luke's transferring here. He's a grad transfer from Syracuse University in New York. Luke's originally from Boston, Massachusetts, and had a great high school career there. And we're real excited about Luke. When Coach Anderson hired me, he said, the first thing we got to do is we got to find us a quarterback. And off the transfer portal, we was looking at a lot of different kids, and Luke really impressed me, not only with, I think he can make all the throws, and he has some athleticism to him as well. And since he's been here, he's really shown that I think he's got some real good leadership skills, which is very important at the quarterback position. So we're expecting big things out of Luke this year. And Luke has 2 years of eligibility left, even though he's a grad transfer. The next guy is Banks Jackson. He's from Maple Mountain here in Utah, Maple Mountain High School. Banks will be going on a mission, but he's one kid that once we got and started going around the high schools here in Utah and watched his film, he's very explosive. If you go on his huddle and watch his huddle film, his first 20 some odd clips, he's running for touchdowns and stuff. But Banks is a kid that we think we're going to start him out at quarterback, but if he don't work out there, he's a good enough athlete that he's going to be able to play, receiver, safety somewhere. But he's a sub 1100 meter, his junior year of high school, and we're real excited about Banks. And then the last kid is Ty McCutcheon. He's from Punahou High School in Hawaii, and he's rated as one of the top kids coming out of Hawaii this year. We're excited about Ty. He's about 6'3". He can really throw the ball, and real good student. His parents were here, and I was real impressed with Ty. I think he's going to have some good leadership skills as well. But those are the quarterbacks we signed. Luke and Ty will both be here in the fall, and with Banks will be going on a mission. But we're real excited to be here, and hopefully we'll be able to score a bunch of points for you guys.
Hi, I'm Steve Clark. I'm not going to bore you with where I've been the last 40, 50 years, but the last 8 years I was at BYU. In 2002, I worked with Coach Anderson at St. Mary's College. Other connections, I worked for Ken Beezer at Southern Utah for about 6 years, where I coached a young man named James Cowser and taught him how to comb his hair. And he's done a great job, very good. Also, my son, Jameson Clark, I've coached him all his life. It's obvious, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. They asked the biggest guy to talk about the biggest guys. I'm going to be talking about the offensive linemen. The first one is Camden Smith from right here at Pineview. Powerful tackle, 6'3", 280. We believe Cam has a high ceiling. He's a really good athlete, not just an old lineman. He plays basketball on the basketball team. Says he can windmill dunk, and he says there's videos out there that prove it, but I haven't seen them yet. But he's a good one. We're hopefully we'll be able to see Camden in a few years. The next one is Ben Acker Otis. He's coming to us from Syracuse High School. He signed early. He signed in December. Probably a guard, 6'2", 287, mean. What we're looking for in an offensive lineman, good feet, strong. We're happy to have him. One of the most physically imposing players that we're getting is Jacob Cerati from Crimson Cliffs. I went to see him. I couldn't believe he was still available, and that he was fired up to come here. This is someone that we're probably going to look to fill some holes in pretty quickly. He's 6'6", 300 pounds. He can be great. He came from a championship school at Crimson Cliffs where, Coach Stokes, I know Coach Stokes, he's done a really good job there. So we're looking forward to having Jacob here. Romeo Teamilu is from Snow College, junior college, going to come down. We need some JC guys to come in, have a little experience to step in right away and play. He went to Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas High School, 6'2", 280 pounds. He's a really tough physical player, has a lot of suddenness and quickness. He'll play in the inside guard center, and we're looking forward to getting Romeo down here quickly. Lake Kolomalu, another offensive lineman, 6'3", 290 pounds, can probably play guard or tackle. He also is coming from Snow College. He's originally from Springville, Utah. He came down this past weekend with he's married, has a son. Another heavy-hatted offensive line prospect that can run block, also has the feet to be able to pass protect. And the last one is Rambo Maggio. He is coming to us from San Diego State. I thought he might be here tonight, but I don't see him. You can't miss him, though. He's huge. Probably another 6'5", 6'6", 320-pound player. He has a lot of potential, and we're looking forward to getting him up to speed with the offense and getting him going. And that is the offensive line. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm back. My name is Jamison Clark. I'm the running backs coach and recruiting coordinator here at Utah Tech. Let me just tell you, as somebody who's been here with the program the past couple years and now rolling into staff with Coach Anderson, the movement and the progress that we're making, this is something worth being excited about. And this is we're on a track that the community should be really excited about. And this is something that I'm really excited about as a coach to get rolling. We're going to start it off with Eli Williams as I talk about the running backs. Eli was one that came to our camp here last June. He is a really bigger, fast, athletic running back. He reminds me of myself. Being able to be that big but that athletic at the same time is really, really impressive. I wasn't able to do some of the things that he does at his weight and his size, and I'm really looking forward to getting him on campus and getting my hands on him. The next one is going to be, if I flip my page over, Easton Hicks. Easton Hicks is going to join us after a 2-year mission. He's coming from Riverton, Utah, here in the state. He also came down to camp last June, and every time we have these camps, we line every camper up. And I looked at the stats today. We had 380 kids come to camp. And we lined them all up, and we had a fastest man race, and we took the fastest ones, and then we raced the fastest ones against the fastest ones. Easton was the last man standing. He was the fastest man that came to our camp. So being able to do that at 5'11", 195 is pretty impressive. He's explosive. He can be a good returner. He does really well with the one-cut stuff in the wide zone scheme. And then to cap it off is Asa Chapman, who we're really, really fortunate to have signed. Asa had a lot of big offers his junior year, and due to some injuries that he had during the senior year, I think a couple of those schools fell off of him a little bit, but he still had a great senior campaign, and we were able to close him in the December signing class. He's somebody that could come in and make a name for himself right away. We're really excited to get Asa. And that wraps up the running back class.
My name is Taylor Colsey. I'll be coaching the receivers here. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to have worked with Coach Anderson the last season at Boise State. Spent the last 2 years up there working in the quarterback room. Before that, I spent 2 seasons at the Lester School up the road in Southern Utah University. And having spent 2 years in Cedar City, I'm very excited to be back in St. George. Great town. Very excited for what we can do here. Going on to the wide receivers we're bringing in this class, we got 2 coming in. In the receiver room, we talk about striving to be smart, tough, reliable playmakers. And these 2 guys coming in, I think, fit that description. The first one we got is Charles Clinton coming from Long Beach Poly. Very successful program in the LA area. Charles is 6'1", 190, long kid that can run, is a vertical threat that can go up and attack the ball in the air. I think he's explosive off the line of scrimmage, can win versus press coverage. We're very excited about some of the things that Charles can do here. Next one we got coming in, Demarion Speedy Jenkins, coming all the way from Florida. Last 2 seasons at Orlando Christian Prep, went over 1,000 total yards all-purpose back-to-back years. Sub 1,100 meter guy that we think is very electric, jitterbug when you get the ball in his hands. You watch his tape, he's playing inside, he's playing outside. He's in the return game, both as a kick returner, punt returner. He's going in the backfield carrying the football. Just the type of guy you want to get the ball in his hands as many ways as you can. So very excited to have Charles and Demarion joining us.
How you guys doing? I'm Nolan Given. I had the pleasure of working with Coach Stevens last season at Southeastern Louisiana. That's where I finished up my college career. So I played tight end at 3 different schools. I was blessed to go to the next level and play in the NFL for a short stint back with my hometown team. So that was a blessing in itself. Figured out pretty quickly after that experience that I want to get into coaching. That the regular corporate life was really not my route, so I wanted to jump right in the ball. So I was working with receivers last year. So I'm fired up to be here, man. I mean, coaching tight ends is my passion. It's my favorite position on the field. We've got a big-time guy that's coming in Eni Falai. He's a transfer from UMass. Really big kid, 6'6", 240 pounds, has extremely long arms, massive hands. He came on a visit, and I was not technically hired yet, so I didn't even see him in person until I stepped into the office, and I was like taken back because I really wasn't expecting that. But he's a massive kid, so we've got big expectations for him. The tight end position is something that is extremely important to our offense. We expect a lot of our guys to be leaders, to be playmakers, to be guys that are going to help elevate our offense to the next level. I don't think there's anywhere else in the country you'd rather go if you want to play tight end. So I'm fired up to get our whole group going. This guy's going to be leading the pack. I know he's going to take over as a leader, try to mentor the younger guys, bring a lot of people together. So I'm really fired up to be here. So I'm going to pass it back to Coach Anderson. Thank you.
We've got a little bit of time for some questions, but before I field any questions, I want to talk just for a minute about our recruiting philosophy. And one of the first things I believe in is being here at Utah Tech, we have to do a great job recruiting the state of Utah. I think there is a ton of talent here in Utah. The high school coaches here in this state do a great job, and we are excited to really recruit the state of Utah hard. When we had not all the staff, but most of the staff together, the first day that we were allowed to recruit was on a Friday, January 12th. And we wanted to make sure that day we got out to all of the drivable areas in southern Utah and made sure we hit all those schools. Then as the contact period went on in January, we had a goal of making sure we got to every high school in Utah that plays football. I don't think we quite achieved that, but we went to almost every single high school that plays football in the state of Utah. And I want to do the same thing again during our spring recruiting period, just to show people here that's how important the state of Utah is to us. I also really want to target other drivable areas for us. So Las Vegas, Southern California, and Phoenix. We're going to work hard at recruiting those areas. I also think, just like you saw in our signing class, some of the transfers that are from different parts of the country. One of the high school signees, Brandon Jackson from Texas. I think we can also selectively get guys from all across the country as we build this program the way that we want to. I also I want to build a program here where guys are proud to play at Utah Tech. Guys don't want to leave here because they love what we're doing in the football program. They love playing for each other, playing for their teammates. They love the coaches that they're playing for. They love the people that are involved in the program. They love the people in this community and at this university. That's what we want to establish here. And I know that may take time, but that's our goal. We're going to try to make this fun, enjoyable, and a place that people are proud to represent. With that being said, I want to make sure that we build our recruiting on high school student athletes. We want to bring guys in, we want to grow guys, we want to develop guys. Again, we want to make this a program that they are proud to represent. But I think in today's day and age of college football, where there's the transfer portal, I'm not going to shy away from the transfer portal. As you guys saw today, we were able to get some great guys mid-year that are really going to help us this fall. I hope in the future we maybe don't have to take quite as many, but we will add, transfer portal guys as we go along as well when we have needs. I know that recruiting is the lifeblood of any football program. It's something we're going to work hard at. I've got a great coaching staff that loves to recruit. They love evaluating guys, and we're going to put a lot of time into that. And we know as time goes on, that's going to allow us to build a winning program here that's competing for championships year in and year out. So that's a little bit of what we believe in recruiting-wise and what we foresee doing here. I want to open it up at this point. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
I've got a big voice, so I don't need that microphone. But I know some of these football players know who I call by. Who am I called by, boys? I'm Mama Coach. Why am I called Mama Coach? Because I what? I focus you to listen to your coaches, but I tell you what to do and what you have to do. But there's a questionnaire in the office that you need to all fill out, which it tells you all about the game of football. And that way it's going to affect your life for the rest of your life as you play football, whether you go to NFL or whatever. But it's going to help your mind and really get with it. So that's what I'm here to really encourage you as a mama to say, let's do it. Let's go for it. And thanks for
Thank you. Yes, right here.
Eric Gould, St. George News. Following up on what you said about local players, high school players, and specifically some of the kids from Crimson Cliffs, our state champions here. How do you imagine them having an immediate impact? Do you imagine that? And also include the other high school kids you got from around Utah. Do you imagine them stepping up and having an immediate impact?
Great question. So Eric's question is about some of the local kids and Utah kids, their impact on the program, when that impact will happen. So I've always had a firm belief that as a football coach, we're going to play the best players. We don't care if you're a freshman, if you're a senior, if you're a walk-on, if you're on scholarship, we're going to play the best players. And we know that throughout fall camp, we'll have plenty of opportunities for us to identify who the best football players are. And those guys will be on the field. Now, what I've learned also in my coaching career is often when we tried to predict out of the freshmen, like who will play first, who will play most, we've often been wrong. And we've often been surprised when a guy comes in, maybe ready to play and make an impact that maybe we weren't expecting. So I'm going into this thing with my mind wide open. I love competition. I love seeing guys compete. I love seeing guys earn playing time. And so I'm excited. I think there will be freshmen who surprise us, freshmen who come in and prove that they are ready to play. And if they show that they're ready to take on a role, we're going to get them on the football field. Now, Eric, to your question, just with the local guys here, in particular the St. George area guys, we're very excited about those guys. You heard Coach Clark talk about Jacob Zarate. I mean, Jacob has unbelievable size, but for that size, he is very athletic, moves very well. I know offensive line is a tough position to play as a freshman, but with his size, he gets here this summer, he may have an opportunity. Coach Moynihan talked about Jace Sweeten. I mean, we love Jace's size, his frame, his athletic ability, his ability to cover, and who knows, Jace may be able to come in, and a lot of times that impact might not always be on offense or defense first, but a lot of times that's on special teams. Guy comes in, plays on special teams, proves himself there, and that leads to a bigger role in offense and defense. Jace is that kind of guy where he's got the ability that he could really help us in special teams as well as on defense. Camden Smith, another one from Pineview. Camden's deciding right now whether he wants to enroll now or come on a mission or go on a mission first, but we're also excited about his ability. Shows very quick feet, on the basketball court, plays hard, he's got long arms. I think he's got a great future as an interior offensive lineman here. So we're very excited about those local kids. We're excited to add more. And then the Utah guys in general, I think are going to be great football players here. Any other questions? Yes.
Nobody else has one. Last year, Utah Tech was really hurt by transfer portal departures, quarterback, receiver. This year, are we going to be hurt by more departures, or are you more focused on right now on who you're getting?
At this point, I know there were guys that left, and I didn't have a chance to meet any of those guys that left. I had a chance to talk with some of those guys, and we're really focused on the guys who are here, and that's what we're excited about. I just don't know enough about those guys that left, but we are very excited about the freshmen we signed in December, the mid-year transfers, and then the guys who signed with us today, and that's what we're going to build our program around. And I know it's a part of college football. It's a part of FCS football where, guys may look for opportunities and move on. But, as I mentioned earlier, and as I stated, I want to make sure we build a program here where guys are proud to be here. They want to play for Utah Tech. I'm going to make sure as a coaching staff that we show our guys that we care for them. We want the best for them. We're going to push them. We're going to coach them hard. We're going to prepare them well to play and to be successful here at Utah Tech, to be successful here at the college level. And hopefully some of them we can prepare to go on and have an opportunity to play beyond college at the professional level. So we're going to really focus now. We're not going to worry about the guys that left or the guys that aren't here. We're going to work on making this program the best that it possibly can and a place where guys, again, are happy to be and proud to represent this program. What other questions? Yes.
There's one thing that I want the boys, everybody to know, the 3 words that come to your mind when you're out there playing the game is what? Focus, score, and win. So what do you have to do? You have to focus on it, you have to score on it, you have to win the game every play. So just remember those words.
Great keys there. Focus, score, and win. If we do that, we're going to win a lot of football games. So. All right, before we close, any last questions that anyone has? Again, I really thank you guys for taking time. I know it's hard on a weekday night to be here. There are a lot of things going on, high school basketball games, things like that in the community. I really appreciate you guys being here. We really appreciate your support. We look forward to building something special here, something where we're competing for championships year in, year out. Really, the next phase in our program is spring ball. Our spring game is going to be April 20th. We're hoping we have that about 1 p.m. We'll update you as we get closer. But again, we want to make that an event. We want to have that open to the public. We hope that you can join us again on April 20th for the spring game, and certainly look forward to the season next year as well. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. Thanks so much for coming out next year as well. Thanks so much for coming out tonight.